Come on. We've got momentum with us now and order flow. Come on, push down. I'm going to squeeze the trade a little bit. I'm moving the stop up to lock in 3. Well, let's close the trade. We're out. I'm sorry if the it's that volume on the button on the edge of my headphones here. I was just saying that there was the potential transition zone right there. Point of control prevented a loser. The crude's just ambling around here on low volume. Let me push lower, but we'll take our 230 and bank it and look for a pullback and another potential short trade if we're not too tight into the value area low and that small swing pivot. Volume is picking up on the E-mini. We're getting background bias, and we're getting all three quant lines aligning, and order flow and momentum to the upside. Let's see if we get a break of the value area high and a retest. The crude looks like it's looking to move lower. Even though we're out, we need crude to break the value area low and that small pivot. MA diff's only 12. We can take a short trade once it breaks support. We could have made more money if we held, but it was very risky that the trade wasn't going to come back. For those of you that are new in the room, just know that during trading, I don't look into the room and check for questions. If you have any, just write them down. And at the end of the trading session, I'll open the room and I'll answer everybody's questions. And I'm going to review all the trade setups at the end of the trading session and give you my rationale for taking all the trades in more detail and try to explain the system and the logic behind everything we do. This is our trade scanner. It just tells me when we have a potential transition zone trade, which is an algorithmic system that we have operational. So I can potentially tell people in the room if they want to trade it on a discretionary basis as opposed to those trading it on the automated system. Crude is banging lower. We took a great roll right off of upside resistance. Looking for the break of the value area high on the E-mini. pivot's broken on crude right here. We're 6 ticks off resistance. I'm just going to rescale the trade again for the people who are new in the room. We just go from the point of entry to the point of maximum excursion for our spreadsheet purposes and changes in the ATM, but it doesn't change our equity in the room. So for our purposes, went 19 ticks from the entry to the low of the trade before we got a reversal, just for us to check the modification of our ATM every few months. But the 230 is what we have. That does not change. We have no entry on this C candle. It's too far off resistance. A small number there, that 6, tells us how far off the candle body open is from the modified 15. We'd like that to be 4. 5 max. The pivot's broken, so there's no area of resistance there, and we're trading right into support, the value area low. Right now, we just don't have any trade. The C candle on crude is a little too risky, going right into the value area low. This roll off resistance and anticipation of the break of the modified 15 was a little bit of a different trade. Remember, this candle was a dark cloud cover. This is a C candle. We don't want to anticipate that break of the value area low. I'm just looking at my data feed to see where it's telling me the cash markets are going to look like they're going to be open, but that's not saying anything. I don't see anything on it. I think this week Amazon reports earnings. I know that Google does. McDonald's reported good earnings. And the E-mini futures are poised to close to open lower. We were just tighter to resistance. I think there's a chance we could take this C candle, but we're so far off resistance. Maybe we'll get an up close on crude and pull us tighter to resistance. We're getting a bounce off the value area high on the E-mini. Look at red quant now. Seven minutes to the open in the New York Stock Exchange. We're looking for a crude up close. Now we're 3 ticks off resistance. We've got 5 minutes before the NYSE opens. We're going to hold off on taking a trade until the NYSE opens. It's a multi-candle pullback on crude. Let's just let this go until the New York Stock Exchange opens. Got the quants, we've got order flow, we've got momentum. We're going to get a surge of volume really shortly. Crude's really doing nice volume. Over 1,000 contracts a minute. All right, we have a we're gonna click a strategy entry in on this short, that X, but we're still gonna hold off. We've got 3 minutes to the open of the NYSE. I can get it out. We don't have the NQ. Look at the dashboard on the NASDAQ. Blitzkrieg green. That's a nice sign. I can tell you right now that the NASDAQ is a component of that second quant line. We've got 2 minutes. Here's the NQ. Doesn't really have a trade set up, but it's certainly in a bullish position. We're at 1 minute. We don't have any kind of time frame, multi-time frame alignment on the E-mini. We're clearly in a downtrend on crude with a pink background bias. We're looking for a short trade on crude. E-mini can go either direction, depending upon how the NYSE drives it when it opens. All right, it's open, and NYSE's open. All right, let's look for a long trade on the E-mini. All three quants green. In fact, we've got triple green quants and order flow and momentum. Let's see if it's going to push the market up. It's only a minute into the open, so it's going to be choppy. We need the 15 to cross the 50 right here on the E-mini before we can take a long trade. Market's still choppy with the open. Let's wait till it settles down and declares a direction. Let's watch the short trade on the ES. We've got the 15 below the 50 on the ES. We're looking for a short. We almost always trade in the direction on the side of the 50 that the 15 is sitting on. We can see the correlative markets are just shifting underneath the candle. We have no alignment. That's because we're still only 3 minutes into the open, and the E-mini is deciding which way it's going to go. Look at crude; it's really retracing right back to the 50. All right, let's see if we get a B pullback on crude. We'll take the C candle long. Let's see if we can get the pullback, the B. Got 10,000 contracts a minute on the E-mini. Great volume. See the quants almost all green. Now we got a red, but they're just shifting around because of the instability at the open of the E-mini or the New York Stock Exchange. It's got that B pullback. Crude is pulling right back up into the point of control in the 50. Lost background bias on crude. And we've lost the quant line. So we would not anticipate a roll to the downside here without them both. It looks like the E-mini is going to get pushed higher. Never got the pullback. Now let's see if we can get the B here on the ES. We need a E-mini pullback. An opportunity to get in to the E-mini at the open. Let's see if we get this B. The Dow opened up down 6. S&P opened down 1.5, and the Nasdaq opened up 3. There's a transition zone signal. Let's see if we get a pullback here. We're going to have a transition zone trade. We need a pullback on the E-mini. We need a down close. We got green, 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 3 quants and order flow and momentum. Look at crude. Bounced off the value area low. It's just heading right up. It's got to do some movement before we can take a long trade. The 15's below the 50. It's not in a position to trade crude long. So there's the pullback on the E-mini. Major quant, that first quant line right here is yellow. That quant line's got to be green for a transition zone trade to trigger, and there it is. We're in the trade. The transition zone took it. There's our first target. There we go. That's the algorithmic signal. I didn't know it was going to take it. I took it out. I didn't trigger it in the room. And that's a transition zone winner. That's an automated entry. Five ticks. If you're on the algorithmic system, you got that trade. Now watch the continuation trade on the E-mini. When you triple quants on that trade to take a long. Let's watch the buying up close. I don't think we're going to get it, but we'll watch. Be careful. We need this major quant, the first line. Didn't happen. Got a red minor quant. Now watch the sell and the down close on the E-mini. Watch that first quant line. Let's see if the market rolls here or not. We've got a pending transition zone trade on the 6E. The algorithmic system just fired. This is not a room trade. We're watching the E-mini. If no trade on the no trade on the E-mini right now. No trade on crude. Seven ticks off support on crude. Hit to the value area high. No trade long. All right, we just took a loser on the transition zone right here. Doesn't change our net equity in the room. I lost my 6E chart. I can't find it right now. I'm not going to worry about it. There's the chart. It was a perfect entry right here. Didn't work. We only have one room trade. This trade here for 230. I know it's confusing today. There's our control. We have a $300 loss on the transition zone, on a $125 win on the transition zone. Let's just concentrate on making money in the room and hope the transition zone will take another winner. We're looking for a pullback on the E-mini. Now our ATM, our profit loss here reflects every trade taken, our trades in the room, and all the algorithmic systems. At the end of the trading session, through the use of the control panel, we can segregate them out. Let's look for a B candle on the E-mini. The mini is rolling. First and third line, first and third quants are red. We're looking for a pullback to resistance at a short trade. It's our one counter trend setup. We're looking for a B on the E-mini. You need that B pullback on the E-mini. You have no trade on crude. This is a complex pullback pattern. We're no clear-cut uptrend. We have no background bias. We have no quant line. So we have no trade on crude. I have triple quants on the E-mini, all red. On order flow and momentum red. See if that pulls the ES down. E-mini isn't moving much. We're just moving slow. Doesn't look like we're going to get that E-mini pullback. We've got triple quants, order flow, and momentum all red. Tough to take a short trade on the E-mini because the 15 is so far above the 50. We're really looking for a long E-mini trade and a long crude trade. Remember, we trade on the side of the 50 where the 15 is. With one room trade and two algorithmic trades. Room trade is one trade, one winner. Algorithmic trade is two trades, one winner and one loser. We're selling it down close on the E-mini. The trigger 62.75, the entry at 63. Well, if the major quant and intermediate quant red, pull back to resistance, we're 3 ticks off. We have a C candle down, a little tight to the 50 where support is. Now we've got triple quants, red. All right, we're going to keep the trade in. We'll see how the quants rotate as the candle moves down. Triple reds now. Come on. We're filled. Come on. Let's take the first target at 3. One more. We got it. Just briefly. Let's see if we can get it better. There we go. First target's hit at 4. Let's see if we can keep going. Come on. Let's get a runner here. Come on. Keep going. Break the 50. Wow, don't come back. Come on, break the 50. We've got the intermediate and minor quant with us. Wow, come on, keep going. Go, go, go. I'll get ready to close the trade at support. If we get another tick down, we're going to close. Let's go for one more. Come on. Come on. Let's close. We're out. We didn't want to anticipate a break of the 50. It was trying. I didn't make that much money. We only took it on 2 contracts. And there it goes. Son of a gun. Look at the trade. 2 seconds. It's always 2 seconds after you exit. Now we entered here, came back, and then shot back down for us. Now it's gone 2 points from entry to point of maximum excursion. We only made $75 on the trade, according to our dome. Only on 2 contracts. And here's the trade right here. $75. Now you have 2 room trades and 2 winners. 2 transition algorithmic trades, 1 winner and 1 loser. Now, if we break the value area low on the E-mini, we cannot take a short because that 15 is above the 50. This is our counter trend trade. The one setup is a little risky. We were 3 ticks off resistance. It came back on us. 6 ticks, didn't stop us out, and then blew down. We're up $305 in the room. You'll be able to hear me. Let's see if we get that 3rd room winner and close out between $400 and $500 of profit today in the trading room. The 2 discretionary trades we took here and here, both easy trades to follow. It got a little confusing because we don't get many transition zone trades. We had 2 transition zone algorithmic automated trades come almost back to back. 1 winner and 1 loser. The E-mini's doing its nasty thing right now. My anticipation was post-election or post-inauguration that we'd get a little bit of a bull run here. But we're not, at least not today, so far. And we called the roll on the E-mini. Right now, the S&P is down 37. I'm sorry, the Dow's down 38. S&P is down 5. NASDAQ is down 6. Qualcomm, one of our options positions, is down 8 points, 12%. Apple sued them for $1 billion, and they were downgraded today. Our other positions are doing incredibly well today, but not Qualcomm. And this morning we just bought Occidental Petroleum. The option just triggered right in the middle of our trading. But that's a June option on Qualcomm, so we have plenty of time for that to come back. It's June 16. Let's see if we can get a break of the value area low on the E-mini, but we need to pull that modified 15 down. Here, remember we trade on the side of the 50 that's got the modified 15, irrespective of background bias or the quants. And the market looks very, very weak. All the quants are red. Multi-time frame momentum is red. Multi-time frame order flow is red. We just need to get that modified 15 down. It increases the predictive value of the trade markedly to trade on the same side of the 50 that's got the 15. You see the trade that we entered eventually broke the 50. And just continued right on through. But we saw it try, bounce, and now it's just breaking down. A full winner here would have given us $200. We would have gotten that. We're almost ready to take a short on the ES. It's turning 8,000 contracts a minute. You can see right here in the lower right-hand corner. Now 9,000 a minute. No trade on crude. Crude's in total chop. No quant, no background bias. No order to the crude market right now. As far as we're concerned, it's moving chaotically. No multi-time frame alignment. No quant line alignment. The 15's above the 50 on crude. We're anticipating a long trade, but all the higher time frames are aligned to the downside. So it's all out of alignment. So we get a B candle pullback to resistance. We'll see what happens on the short trade, but we don't have that 15 below the 50. So likely we're just going to stand down on it. Now the 15's awfully close. The market's moving slowly. All right, we're going to sell the E-mini on a down close. The trigger is 59.25. The entry is 59. We'll see if we get continuation to the downside. The 15's just about to cross the 50. We're trading right off resistance. We've got the major quant. We've got the minor quant. We've got orange order flow and orange momentum. Now, the E-mini's trying to retrace higher, but a quarter of markets are heading down. We'll see if it pulls back and gives us an up close. We're looking for a down close to trigger us into the trade. But nothing on crude. trigger on the trade is 59, 25.59. The entry is 29.59.25. All automatically done if you're on the NDT. Bonds missed a great transition zone because it traded up into a pivot. It broke the pivot and ran. The market's, even he's reluctant to move down. I think we're going to get ticked in very soon. We're filled. There's our first. Now go. We're going to close at the pivot. Let it ride. Let's keep it going. We've got triple quants and order flow and momentum. Let's see if we can get a runner here and it'll break the pivot. Here we go. We're trailing the trade. We've got a big pivot to break. Break it. All right, if we hit the pivot again, we're closing the trade. Come on, work down. Get ready to close at that pivot. We're out. We're out. Now, it doesn't matter to me if the trade breaks the pivot or not. That's a huge pivot. We're not going to anticipate that break. Okay, well, we're done for the day. We have 3 trades. We have 3 winners. On the old adage is 3 and out. I'm going to go over all the trades. We made $100 on that trade on only 2 contracts. Now, it could break the pivot. Doesn't matter to me. We made just under $400 today. We'll show all the trades. Let's see how it goes. we can't anticipate a break of this gigantic pivot. We've got all three quants. You see it's bouncing. Ultimately, it may head right through it. But that's strong support. And the best way to trade is conservatively. Take the trade off at an area of major support like that. All three quants are still red. And today we couldn't milk all these trades. You'll notice that this trade on this entry wound up going before a reversal candle 4.25 points. And we took it off at the 50, anticipating that the market would hold support of the 50. Didn't. It broke it, went all the way to 4.25. Now it looks like it's going to break the pivot and run, but we can't anticipate this. Going to come right back into our faces and taking out our runner. And now we've got a down close, and we're going to have obviously a lot more profit than 5 ticks. So we really played it conservative, very conservative today. Look at this runner. This is a $200 trade instead of a 100. If we just would have stayed in, but we can't anticipate a hold of support, a break of support here. But these triple quants, when they go all red, background bias is red. It's a great opportunity for a trade. But we made nice money today, and we'll take it. And just for our scaling purposes, this one went 4.25. This is a 17-tick trade. We only made 75. This was a 17-tick trade too. We left money on the table, but we closed at the 50. It broke. We closed at the major pivot. It broke. Okay, let's go through the trades. First, let me go through the trader. Now, these are our trades. Whoops, I got it right here. So you can see this is the RLT 6E. That's a transition zone, and we'll talk about those second. And this is a TZ transition. We'll talk about those second. In the room, we had a $230 win right here. We had a $75 win right here. And we had a $100 win right here. So 230, that's 330. So it's 405 for the room. 3 trades, 3 winners. I think I added that right. 230 and 100 is 330. 330 and 75 is 405. So in the training room today, we had 3 trades, 3 winners. We had huge winners, plus 405. And then we had 2 transition zone trades. One winner, 1 loser, and they're right here. So unfortunately today, the algorithmic got beaten, but I'll show you the trades. We're going to go over all the trades. It took a $75 winner. I'm sorry, $125 winner right here. Oh my God. Excuse me. Um, and it had a $300 loser here, and that was on the 6E. So the transition zone wound up with a $175 loss. Loser, minus 175 today. It rarely gets beaten like this. It's really, really an awesome entry. But today, the 6E, and if you take the 175 and add it to 230, it should come out exactly to our room equity. Let me just do that. 230 plus 175. Yep, comes out to 405 exactly. So that's exactly, and you saw all the trades taken right off the dome. I want you to see that we're extremely transparent. So we've made 40% of our goal on the discretionary side in the trading room today. We're looking for $1,000 in the trading room a week without, after commissions. So we've got to, we traded, we took 3 trades. It's 2 contracts, we get 4. So we had 8 contracts today, not many commissions. So let's go over the trades. Let's take a look first at the E-mini. I'm sorry, crude. And crude, the only potential entry we had on crude today was the one I took. And what we had, it was a little bit of a risky trade on this roll. But the reason I took it was because we had the quant. We had the dark pink background bias, which tells us that all our higher time frames are to the downside. The 15 and the 50 is to the downside. And we've broken all support to the downside. Now, the trade was into support, which I anticipated would break. And the reason I did that was because I also traded this retracement, which was almost 100% retracement in this downtrend. This is 2 candles. That makes the downtrend. So I thought it was a nice area to anticipate a roll. The entry was a dark cloud cover. It wound up going 19 ticks. I closed it again. I closed it early, right at a major area support here. But we still made $230. I mean, we did it. We made an enormous number of ticks today. Just enormous. In addition, I just want you to see this. How really beautiful, which I did see, I just want to trace out for you. A beautiful down channel. And we only channel trade into the trend. So we had a series of lower highs, 1, 2, at every pivot, lower high, and lower lows. Here, 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 and here. And we rolled down for 19. And right now we got nothing on crude. We have the 15 above the 50. We've got no quant line. We've got no background bias. And there's absolutely no trade that we would touch or even anticipate go near trading crude. Then on the E-mini, we had move up, retracement. Now, I didn't take this trade in the room. I wish I had. but the transition zone took it with 4 contracts, and it pushed up 5. And what happened was this was flickering out yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green. And I saw the transition zone signal going off and on, off and on. Finally, it went green, and the transition zone system didn't have time to take it out. It left it in because it was flickering so quickly, and it did wind up going 5 ticks right through the first target, guaranteed fill. And then this was our riskiest trade, and it wound up going 17 ticks. This is the one counter. We always trend trade, always, because institutions create the trend, and we always want to trade with the trend, but the institutions also create the quant lines. I mean, you don't get an alignment of multiple correlative markets unless the institutions are rotating money. So we had to move down, and if we go to the right edge, we had a pullback to resistance, but we were a bit off. We were 3 ticks off resistance on a 5-tick candle. But because we had triple quants here on the entry, took the trade. And you can see it came back. 6. Didn't stop us out. And then just heaved down. And then we took this trade right off of resistance with the major quant and the minor quant, and order flow, and momentum. And this trade didn't give us any heat, but you have to. If you want to trade conservatively, you take it off. This is a major pivot. This is a fairly large swing pivot, and we did not anticipate a break. You can see it just smashed through it. And went for 4.25 points. This trade went 1.25, and this down trade went 4.25 points. 17 and 17. And those are big trades. We only took them with 2 contracts, but unfortunately, out at the 50, out at major support of the pivot. Now, here's the other trade that we didn't see. The only loser was on the 6E. It was a big loser, unfortunately, but it was a it was a perfect transition zone. It was a move down, retracement back to resistance. No downside resistance whatsoever. Now, no downside support. Yeah, and that's the only time the transition zone is going to trade. It had the quant, it had background bias, it had momentum, didn't have order flow, but it had enough variables in the algorithm to take the trade. Now, let me see how many ticks off of resistance this trade was. It was 4. It gave it a lot of leeway. That's 4 ticks on a 5 range, and the trade just came right back against it, and it costed $300. So those are the trades we have, and that's a rare transition zone loser. And I think the transition zone on the nonlinear independent variables maybe gave this trade a little too much leeway. But that was its assessment, and it's automatic. And by the time I saw it, it was in. So that's it. We're already at 405 for the week. If we can do this every day, we'll be close to $2,000 at the end of the week. And I know the transition zone will break back. So let me see if there are any questions. I mean, we really beat the heck out of the market today. I mean, 17, 17, and 19 on 3 discretionary trades. I mean, you can't whack it around any more than that. Hey, DH. No, we weren't skiing in Miami. We were in Colorado. Yeah, we had a great time. We really did. Good morning, everyone. We had a really awesome time. I'll just show you. I don't even have the pictures to show. They're all in my phone. But we just had a wonderful time in Colorado. That's the first vacation I've taken him on in a few years, and we really, really had a good time. It was seven. One morning it was 9 below zero, and you couldn't. You couldn't ski with any exposed skin. You basically had to be like a ninja. I'll just show you something really quickly. I don't want to bore you guys. That's the wrong one. Hold on a second. I have 1,200 Facebook pages because of business. Um, Hold on. I'll just show you a couple of quick pictures. Now I know this was a little bit of an overwhelming day because of the fact that we had two algorithmics and we had three discretionaries, but I'll just show you that's my son. I got him a bicycle. And that's Andrew from Colorado, helmet and all. It was really cold. That's him. And that's me. And people have told me I photoshopped this. That's just a polarized lens. Just the way it came out. And that was on the trip going there, going up. So that was our trip. We had a really, really nice time. And that's my son playing volleyball. So I'm sure you don't want to go through. That was election night. He came into my bed and fell asleep with the cat. Okay. So we did great today. 17, 17, and 19, 405. One transition zone loser. The transition zone system will make it back. And really, really, it's a perfect day. This is the way we're going to trade all week, very conservatively. And last week we got really hurt on closing on the up close. I didn't take this trade out on the up close. You see, it came right back to give us a 17 tick winner. So everything went perfectly. We're going to have I'm going to give you a double didactic this Wednesday because I didn't do it last Wednesday. And I'm going to show you some things this Wednesday that I'm telling you have never heard before. Some of the things, and I'm going to show you why we trade range bars, not tick, not time, and definitely not Renko. Although time and tick are okay, you're going to see the way I believe on a mathematical basis, range bars are the best way to trade. So listen, everyone, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, and let's do it again. Let's just trade with the trend, except on our one counter trend, and stick with money. Stick with the big money. Can't find my mouse. Here it is. With the quants, with background bias. Always on the trend trade on the appropriate side of the 50 where the 15 is. And we will stay safe. So listen, everyone, have a great afternoon. And listen, by 10:51, if we can make $400, even though we left money on the table, these trades just could have easily bounced back in our faces knocked out our runner and given us no profit on the runner. So it's very easy to call these trades retrospectively, but when you're on the right edge and you had to hit that kind of support, I think it's prudent to close. Just like here, I was hoping we'd get a break in the 50, but it kept bouncing and bouncing. So even though you have triple quants, you can never be sure you're not going to get a bounce, get stopped out, and then the continuation. So we traded conservative. We only traded 2 contracts and 2 contracts. We got 17, 17, and 19. So listen, everyone, have a great afternoon. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a great, great day. Bye-bye.